So let's get started with the row number 11 with a chain 3, turning chain 3, and our first shell. Oops. This is the yarn. Chain 2 and another 2 double crochets, chain 4, 3, 4, and now here where we have our 3 groups of double crochet and 2 chain 2 spaces, we will work like this. Oops. A shell, so this is our second shell of the border, of course. So into the first chain 2 space, work a shell. To complete the shell, second shell of the border. This is a constant shell, chain 4 shell. Okay. Now chain 3 and another shell into the chain 2 space, and this chain 3 1 and 2. Okay, this chain 3 is the chain 3 where we will begin into the next row our motif with the 3 double crochets. Okay, so now let us complete this motif. Go on with this motif. So chain 4, you know, for the pinwheel motif, and insert your hook into the first chain 3 space. We have 3 chain 3 spaces. Now we will have 2. So chain 3, insert your hook into the second chain 3 space and single crochet, the chain 3, and insert your hook into the third chain 3 space and single crochet, and here we have our 2 chain 3 spaces. Now chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and repeat the same thing that you made here. So here we make a shell, 1, 2, so 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets into the same chain 2 space for the first shell, then chain 3, and into the second chain 2 space make the border shell. So 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and complete with the chain 4 and the last shell. So 2, 3, 4, and the last shell. And here we have our 2 motifs. We added 2 motifs, 2 pinwheel motifs more for our pattern. So 1 and 2. Here we'll begin 1, and here the second, as you can see, are these 2. Okay, so like this. Okay, sorry, like this. Now we'll begin with the 3 double crochets here and 3 double crochets here, then 7, 7, 11, 11 double crochets, and then we'll go on with the pinwheel, with these 2 pinwheels, and in between we will just chain 6, then chain 4, and then chain 6, and we will begin 3 more pinwheel motifs, but I will show you at a time, one at a time, so step by step actually I want to show you. Okay, this was the row number 11. Okay, let us begin the row number 12, of course with a chain 3, turning chain 3 and our first shell, which is 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet into the chain 2 space of the previous shell. Here we are, then chain 4, and here we will put our shell, second shell of the border. So let's work our second shell of the border. And now, as I said, we will begin our pinwheel motif. So chain 2, don't forget to chain 2 first and at the end of the pinwheel motif row. And into the chain 3 space, work your 3 first row of the pinwheel motif, 3 double crochets. Then don't forget to chain 2 and work your shell. Actually, as you can see, it's a combination, as I said at the intro, it's a combination between two motifs, shell and pinwheel. Okay, now let us continue our pinwheel motif here. So chain 4, 2, 3, 4. And here we have 2 chain 3 spaces. So insert the hook into the first and single crochet, then chain 3 and into the second, single crochet, and here we are with our last chain 3 space here. Now chain 4, don't forget to chain 4 and go on with the second motif, our shell here. So 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, then chain 2 and 3 double crochets for the first row of the pinwheel motif, then chain 2 again, don't forget to chain 2 and finish your row with your shell stitches. This is the first shell stitch, chain 4 and the last shell stitch, this chain 4 and the last. Okay, now I will show you what we have here, because I know that it's really can confuse when I work and you cannot see what I am doing. So this is what we have. We begin with the first row of the motif, so this one with the 3 double crochets, our 2 pinwheel motifs, and we have the shells on one side and the other of our pinwheel, because as you can see we have actually the border is this row of shells and the chain 4, and this row of shells is the row that we the border for the pinwheels, okay, because we have shells that are borders for our pinwheel motifs. Okay, and this was the number 12 row. Oops, let's count to be sure I am lost. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes. So this is our 12th row, number 12. Row number 13. Chain 3 to turn. Work your first shell, 1, 2 double crochets, I go a little bit faster because we know what we have to do here. So chain 4, then the second shell, and now we will continue on with the pinwheel motif. So chain 2 for the pinwheel motif, 2 double crochets into the chain 2 space, then work a double crochet into each of our 3 double crochets here, 2 and 3, then again 2 double crochets into the chain 2 space and chain 2 and the shell. As you can see, we have the shell in between the pinwheel motifs also. Okay, now here we have to work like this. Chain 5, not 4, chain 5, a single crochet into the chain 3 space and chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 5 here into the chain 3 space, chain 3 arch, the only one here, a single crochet, and again chain 3, 4, 5, chain 5, and repeat what we just worked here on the contrary. So repeat the chain, then the pinwheel motif here, 2 chain 2, 2 double crochets, then 3 double crochets here, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and the shells to finish the row. The row number 14. We begin the row with the same chain 3, turning, chaining, turning, chain 3, and the first shell. Okay, now chain 4 and the second shell. Okay, and now chain 2, we are at the part with the double crochets on the pinwheel motif, so we chain 2 at the beginning, at the end of our row of pinwheel motif. Chain 2 and into the chain 2 space 2 double crochets, and this is the last row for the double crochet part. Now, double crochet part of the pinwheel. Then we will begin with the chain 3 spaces. Okay, then 7 double crochets, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet in each of our 7 double crochets that we have here. This is the last, and 2 double crochet into the chain 2 space, and don't forget about chaining 2. And now our shell stitch here, shell motif, shell stitch. Okay, and here we have just to chain now, because actually we finished the motif, this motif. Okay, we finished it, and we have to chain, and as I said, we will chain 6, then 4, 4, 4 and 6 into the last. Then we'll begin with the motif, another motif. So 6 for this round, chain 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, and continue on with the other part. So the same way of what we did here now. Okay, for the row number 15, actually, I hope 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yes, for the row number 15, we will just repeat here, of course, the chain 3, turning chain 3, then the border, and here the pattern of the motif, of the pineapple motif. We know it now. It's just repeating, and not once but twice. So twice with a chain 4 here, not chain 6 but chain 4. So it's really easy, this 15, this row number 15. Chain 3, our 3 turning chains, then the shell, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets, chain 4, 3, 4, and another shell, the second shell, 1, 2, 1, 2, and now we finished our, as I said, our first our 3 rows of double crochets, and we have to begin our rows with chain 3 single crochet. And we know that for these rows begin and end with chain 4, not with chain 2. So chain 4, and insert your hook into the first double crochet, make a single crochet, chain 3, skip 1 double crochet, oops, into it slips into the next, single crochet, chain 3, skip 1 double crochet into the next, single crochet, chain 3, skip 1 double crochet into the next, single crochet, chain 3, skip 1 double crochet into the next, single crochet, chain 3, skip 1 double crochet and into the last, single crochet, chain 3. We must have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain 3 spaces, or rings, or loops, or arches, or how do you want to name them, but they must be 5. Okay, and the chain 4 to finish the row of the pineapple motif. Okay, then the shell, and now to skip. So actually we are skipping into the next pineapple motif with a chain 4 and the shell stitch. So chain 4, and now we have just to repeat what we just worked here. So go on and finish your row number 15. So row number 16, I began it off the camera because actually there is nothing new, it's all repeating the sequence that we have here. So I began with my 2 shells and with the chain 4 in between them. Of course I began with the chain 3, don't forget, turning chain 3. And now what we have to do is working these 2 pinwheel motifs. So chain 4, because we are at the chain 3 part, let's name it like this. So insert the hook into the chain 3 space, single crochet, then chain 3, and again single crochet, chain 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 3, and this is the row with 4 rings, 4 arches, chain 3 spaces. This means that the next will be the one with 3. So into the next we have to add 2 more motifs here. On one side, one border and the other border. Don't forget, this is very important. Okay? So we have to add into every row with 3 rings, 3 chain 3 spaces of the motif, border motif, so these 2, okay, because then we'll have in the middle the motif, the pinwheel motifs, of course, but now we have only these 2 here on the border actually. And when we are in this row with 3, so not this but the next one, so not the 16, number 16, but number 17, okay. So I finished my 4, now we have 4, and into the next, as I said before, we'll have 3. So I have 4 chain 3 spaces, I finish the row, so I have to add a chain of 4, and now I'll repeat the same thing. So the shell stitch into the shell stitch, into the chain 2 of the shell stitch, of course. Then here in the middle again 1, 2, 3 with chain 4. So we did 1, now we have 2 more, so 1, this is the second, with 4, and continue on, repeat actually what we crocheted in together here. So go on and finish your row, and I'll be back to show you, but it's really not similar, it's the same thing, how to begin 2 new motifs, pinwheel motifs on the borders.